Well, we all knew it was only a matter of time before Tony Khan finally addressed the situation, and now he has. AEW President Tony Khan broke his silence on Dr. Britt Baker's status with the company during the All in Texas media call, and while he did address her lengthy absence from television, it's what he didn't say and how he said it that's raising more questions than answers. So, what exactly is going on with Britt Baker? According to Tony Khan, any rumors that she's on her way out of AEW are completely false. He said, and I quote, "I've never had a conversation about Britt departing AEW. I like Britt a lot." Okay, Tony, that's a pretty neutral way of answering a very direct concern, but let's not stop there, because Khan then dives into an analogy that paints a clearer, or maybe murkier, picture of what's going on behind the scenes. Before diving further into that, we have to look at where Britt Baker stands right now. The reality is, she hasn't been on AEW programming at all in 2025. In fact, it's been over 8 months since she last wrestled or made any appearance on TV. Not October, not November, nothing. You'd think by now we'd at least get some clarification, some kind of update. But no, she's been completely absent. And yet, she hasn't taken any independent bookings either. So she's just sitting, waiting, watching. Fans are left wondering, will she leave AEW? Will WWE sign her? Will she even wrestle again? 4 months. The speculation was loud. People, including myself, were saying, "Britt, you've got to leave." The writing was on the wall. There were whispers about her clashing with Tony Khan, backstage drama, confrontations with MJF, and Khan supposedly being fed up with her diva attitude and backstage antics. Locker room rumors said she was difficult to work with. Rumors swirled that Tony Khan wanted nothing to do with her and had no plans to book her again. And yet, here we are, with Khan brushing it all aside, saying he hasn't even spoken to her about leaving. Then, in a baffling move, Khan tries to explain her absence using a sports analogy. He compares the AEW roster to a sports team. In baseball, he says, you can only use 9 players at a time. In football, 11. Pro wrestling is a bit different, you can use a variety of people depending on the show. Still, he claims there's a limited number of slots, and even if someone's talented, they may not always be featured on TV every week. Some, he says, are just waiting on the bench, ready to be called in when the time is right. Okay, so let's break this down. According to Tony, Britt Baker, a central pillar of the AEW women's division since the company's inception, is just on the bench. He implies she's simply not in the rotation right now, and that she'll be used when needed. But does that make any sense? This isn't just some mid-carder or new signee. This is Britt Baker, one of the most recognizable female faces in AEW history, a former champion, a reliable draw, and we're supposed to believe that she's just being rotated out for now? I'm sorry, but I'm not buying that. Not even for a second. This logic is paper thin. If your best talent is healthy, not requesting time off, and clearly still under contract, why on earth would you leave them off TV for 8 straight months? That's not strategic planning, that's neglect. Khan can dress it up however he wants, but this isn't normal. You don't bench a star like that for almost a year and expect people not to question what's really happening. He continues with his justification, saying that his focus in 2025 has been on tightening up the weekly shows, making them more focused and less cluttered. He claims it's about not forcing talent into segments just to get them on air. He says Britt is a great example of someone they could use again when the situation is right, that she's talented and capable, and it's only a matter of timing and opportunity. He wants to manage minutes and rotations like a sports coach would. Look, Tony, I understand the theory. Managing talent, keeping things fresh, not burning people out, all of that is sound logic in a vacuum. But this is pro wrestling, and this is Britt Baker. She's not just another name on the roster. It's like saying, hey, we're just going to sit Patrick Mahomes for most of the NFL season even though he's healthy, just because we're managing the roster. That would be absurd. Nobody would think that's a solid strategy. And that's exactly what this feels like. AEW is not in a position to be casually sidelining top-tier talent, especially not when the promotion is clearly struggling to maintain momentum. In the last couple of years, AEW's popularity has dipped. The company has gone from running big venues and generating huge buzz, to struggling to sell tickets and moving to smaller arenas. The spark isn't what it once was. And that's not just me saying it, just look at the numbers. Look at the venues. Look at the viewership. AEW needs every ounce of star power it can get. It has a fantastic in-ring product, arguably one of the best rosters in the world from a wrestling standpoint. But that alone isn't enough. You need names. You need draws. You need people that can move tickets and get fans emotionally invested. And Britt Baker is one of the very few women in AEW who can actually do that. Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné? Sure, they're stars, but outside of them, who's the real face of the women's division? There are talented women on the roster, absolutely, but not many of them are bankable stars. So if that's the case, why would you leave one of your few proven draws completely off TV for such a long stretch? It makes zero sense, and the sports analogy just doesn't cut it here. If she were injured, fine. If she asked for time off, okay, but none of that is the case, so what are we doing? Tony Khan keeps saying that the show has gotten better in recent months, that the product has tightened up, and to be fair, yes, AEW has delivered some solid dynamites lately, there's no denying that, but you still have glaring issues like an inconsistent women's division and the clear underutilization of top talent, and it becomes even more glaring when fans are constantly asking, where's Britt Baker? He keeps the door open, saying she'll be back when the time is right, that she's part of the long-term plan. But that's the thing, how long can you expect someone to wait? And how long can fans be expected to care? This isn't about making Britt Baker a weekly presence just for the sake of it. It's about basic storytelling. AEW's fanbase has grown up with her as one of the cornerstones. It's confusing, frustrating, and, frankly, disrespectful to act like she's just another interchangeable part. At this point, Tony Khan needs to make a decision. Either you value Britt Baker as one of the faces of your company, or you let her go find somewhere that will. This limbo helps no one. If she's being kept off TV because of creative, fix that. If it's because of backstage tension, handle it. But don't insult the intelligence of your audience by saying she's just waiting her turn when her absence is clearly about something deeper. And let's not pretend that this is some isolated situation. This has happened with other AEW stars before. Long stretches of absence, creative limbo, unclear communication. That's part of the growing pains of a relatively young company. Sure, but it's also a problem that needs fixing. The AEW women's division still has a long way to go, and sidelining your most recognizable star for nearly a year is not the way to build it. You want to sell out all in Texas? You want to pack a baseball stadium? Then you need all hands on deck. You need Mercedes Moné, Toni Storm, and yes, you need Britt Baker. No more bench talk, no more minute management. Pro wrestling doesn't work like that. And if you think I'm overreacting, I challenge you to really look at the landscape of AEW right now. Look at who's over. Look at who moves merchandise. Look at who fans chant for even when they're not on screen. Britt Baker is one of those names. She matters. She's valuable. And if Tony Khan doesn't see that, or chooses to ignore it, then AEW is doing itself a major disservice. So here we are 8 months without Britt Baker. No matches, no promos, no appearances, just silence. Tony Khan says she's still part of the team, but the truth is, she's been treated like an afterthought. And in pro wrestling, nothing is worse than being forgotten. Use her, or release her. It's that simple.